Hi, it's Edward, back with another video. Please take a moment to click the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Please also share this video with your friends. Thank you for your support. Today, I read several financial news articles. I've included links to the articles in the description below. I encourage you to read the articles to support the authors and news sources. As a private American citizen, I'd like to report and share my transformative thoughts through commentary regarding small sections of these articles that are of public interest. Today, I read an article on Yahoo Finance put out by Business Insider and written by Theron Mohammed titled, "Billionaire Investor Jeffrey Gundlach Flags Risks to Stocks, Says House Prices May Drop, and Sees a Recession Striking Before the Summer." The author of this article references Jeffrey Gundlach as saying, and I'll quote, "I believe that if mortgage rates fall further by, say, a percentage point, I think we'll actually start to see home prices weaken because we'll unlock supply. Ironically, we might have housing prices deteriorate along with falling mortgage interest rates, the opposite of what most of our 40-year experiences have been." Well, ladies and gentlemen, here are my thoughts. I believe this is a real possibility. One thing to keep in mind is that the housing market is huge and it doesn't turn on a dime. Throughout history, there have been instances when stocks have taken the elevator down, but we won't see that with the real estate market. Even after the 2008 housing crash, it took years for some real estate to hit the market and work through the foreclosure process. Now, Jeffrey Gundlach used the term deteriorate to describe what may happen to housing prices. Deterioration can take a long time. Think about the paint job on a car that is left outside every day. In certain climates, the finish will deteriorate, but it will take time for that to occur. What I'm saying is you probably aren't going to wake up one morning and see million-dollar homes on sale for $500,000. I'm sure some of you watching this video are on the sidelines with cash right now, waiting for the right opportunity to pick up some real estate bargains. You may have to wait a while depending on what type of bargain you are hoping for. That's not to say there aren't bargains out there right now if you look hard enough. Sometimes you may need to make some insultingly low offers and hope one of the sellers will bite. I personally messed up recently. There was a property that a hectomillionaire businessman had invested $3.5 million to build a few years ago. I knew how much he had invested in the property because a business acquaintance of mine knows him. This seller moved out of state, and the word on the street was that he decided to unload the property. He listed it for $1.7 million. I thought about writing a lowball offer for $1 million the first day that it hit the market to see how motivated he really was. I was really busy that week, and I didn't want to carve out the time to write up an offer for a what if. I also wasn't that interested in another project to consume more of my time. Well, it turns out a local builder recognized the value in that property and submitted an offer for $1.1 million later that week, and the seller took the offer. That just goes to show you that there are opportunities regardless of what is happening in the broader real estate market. Getting back to the article, the author went on to further discuss Jeffrey Gundlach's thoughts. The investor indicated that a prolonged economic slump is likely. He pointed to the yield curve staying inverted for a while and now threatening to reinvert, which has historically happened at the front edge of a recession. He also flagged the Philadelphia Fed's coincident economic indicators, which have hit levels that typically indicate trouble ahead. Jeffrey Gundlach said, and I'll quote, "This is completely consistent with the potential for a recession, say in the second quarter or so of next year." Here are my thoughts. I believe a recession is very likely in 2024. The big question is, how severe will it be? The other big question is, how prepared are you and how prepared are most everyday Americans? Many everyday Americans are levered up right now with $1,000 vehicle payments, large mortgages, credit card debt, student loan debt, and buy now, pay later debt. To make matters worse, there are a lot of individuals with no emergency savings at all. If we experience a recession and a lot of companies start laying off human capital, it may be more difficult for people to find new employment when they lose their job. We have been living during fairly good economic times in recent years. Some people have short memories and don't remember a time when getting a job in certain industries was difficult. We could potentially see that again. I read some of the comments beneath this article and I found some of them to be interesting, so I'll share select comments with you. One commenter talked about Jeffrey Gundlach and said he's hoping for a recession to bail out his underwater bond portfolio. Another commenter said there will not be a recession anytime soon, as we changed the definition of recession. The next commenter said falling home prices may not be something to be happy about. There may be other unwelcome forces at work. A better deal on a house is little help if you become unemployed. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. With regard to a recession, I read an article today on foxbusiness.com written by Breck Dumas, titled, "Majority of Americans Feel U.S. Economy is in Recession Survey." According to the author, the U.S. economy may not technically be in a recession, but most Americans believe it is. That's according to a recent survey conducted by Bankrate, which found 59% of U.S. adults feel like the economy is in a recession, defined by 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. Here are my thoughts. I am sure some everyday Americans feel like there is a recession because of how difficult life has gotten financially. Rent costs more, food costs more, daycare costs more, car insurance costs more, home insurance costs more, oil changes cost more, haircuts cost more, and the list goes on and on. The author of this article went on to say the latest findings indicated nearly 2/3 of Americans, 66%, say the current economic environment, including factors such as elevated inflation, rising interest rates, and changes in income or employment, has negatively impacted their finances this year. And 85% of those who agree the economy is in a recession share the same sentiment. Well, my heart goes out to those who are struggling financially. Elevated inflation and rising interest rates have impacted people and businesses across America. With regard to changes in income or employment, this is something that concerns me. I am worried about what might happen if we do enter a deep recession in 2024 and people are not prepared. As many of you know, there is a high percentage of everyday Americans living paycheck to paycheck. Life can get really difficult when those paychecks stop coming in. Here's the best quote from this article. The author quoted Bankrate analyst Sarah Foster as saying, "Americans judge the economy's strength by their own individual experiences living within it, and nationwide numbers often don't tell the same story as their finances." I agree with Sarah Foster 100%. Life in the trenches can get pretty real, and I have no doubt the data that the Fed examines may not always paint a true picture of what is happening in our great country. To my point, some everyday Americans are prepared to make some difficult choices this holiday season to cope. I read an article today on Yahoo Finance put out by Go Banking Rates and written by Yael Buziati Kennedy, titled, "Half of Gen Z would rather spend Christmas alone than go further into debt. 2 more holiday money hangups and how to better cope." The author of this article references a survey by financial management app Clio that found almost half of Gen Z, 48%, said they would rather spend Christmas alone than plunge into debt. The author referenced Roxanne Najad, the vice president of marketing for Clio, as saying, "It also reflects a commendable commitment to fiscal responsibility, but also highlights the unfortunate reality that many young individuals feel compelled to prioritize financial stability over the joy of festive celebrations with loved ones." I truly feel bad for those who are in a situation where they may not be able to spend time with their loved ones during the holiday season because of their financial situation. I am proud of people who are trying to be financially responsible, but I have to wonder why some of these people can't consider picking up some temporary part-time employment to earn enough money to travel to see their loved ones during the holiday season. It may be possible to find a part-time job with a retailer who is looking for additional help during the holiday season, or it may be possible to find a job in your neighborhood for someone looking to have odd jobs completed. There are countless ways to earn extra money. I just hate the thought of some people being alone during the holiday season because of their personal finances. It's not just Generation Z that is struggling financially. I read an article today on CNN.com written by Eva Rosenberg titled, "Telehealth Orthodontics Company SmileDirectClub Shuts Down." According to the author, SmileDirectClub, the international direct-to-consumer dentistry and orthodontistry company that sold teeth aligners, has shut down less than 3 months after filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Because a typical SmileDirectClub teeth straightening course takes 4 to 6 months, some existing customers may be stranded in the middle of treatment. The company encouraged customers to consult local dentist offices if they wished to continue their care. Well, ladies and gentlemen, how bad would that be if you were one of the existing customers who just paid them thousands of dollars for treatment? I feel bad for those who are in this position. It is sad to see SmileDirectClub shut down. They offered a service that in many cases was far less expensive than going to a traditional orthodontist. I got Invisalign through a local orthodontist as an adult, and I paid $5,500. In many cases, SmileDirectClub was only about $2,000. They weren't around back when I got Invisalign. SmileDirectClub has only been around since 2014. This situation with SmileDirectClub just goes to show you that you need to complete a lot of due diligence and make sure that the company that you are doing business with is going to remain solvent. With regard to companies that may be struggling, I read an article today on foxbusiness.com written by Daniela Genovese titled, "Hasbro Cutting 1,100 Jobs as Toy Sales Slow." According to the author, toy manufacturer Hasbro Incorporated is laying off nearly 20% of its global workforce after facing back-to-back quarters of falling toy sales. CEO Chris Cooks said in a Monday memo to staff that cuts will affect approximately 1,100 employees. This comes in addition to the roughly 800 job cuts that were already made earlier this year. While my heart goes out to these employees who are losing their jobs with Hasbro, I hope they are able to secure new employment in their area quickly so that their families are not impacted. I also hope these people have a well-funded emergency account in case it takes longer than expected to find new employment. This is terrible news to receive during the holiday season. I hope the situation over at Hasbro improves moving forward. Hasbro has been around for a long time. For those of you who are old like me, you may remember the Light Bright, which was released by Hasbro back in 1967. Hasbro also manufactured the Weebles, which were released in 1971. Maybe some of you remember Simon, which was released in 1978, with the colored light bars that you had to push. That was originally released by Milton Bradley, but Hasbro bought Milton Bradley in 1984. Hasbro also distributed Mr. Potato Head way back in 1952. Hasbro has been around for a long time. I hope sales pick up for them so they can grow and potentially rehire those who may be laid off. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. Check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.